What is going on, everybody? So the Army has officially, temporarily banned the requirement to actually pass the ACFT PT test at all initial Army training. So basic training, or if you're going to warrant officer training, so the entry course in that, or the officer training, which would be BOLIC. So if you're going to any Army initial training, they're like, you don't have to do the ACFT anymore, or at least you don't have to pass it anymore. So if you're about to go to one of these trainings, like pretty much a lot of people on my YouTube channel, you're about to go to basic training, should you actually still push yourself to excel and pass the ACFT? So the first thing that I want to mention in this video, that is, as of right now, if you go to my store down below, this t-shirt and a couple other variations of it, the 200,000 subscriber celebration collection t-shirt is officially live on the store. Make sure you guys use code WARD10 to actually get 10% off. That is just for any of my subscribers out there. Make sure you use that every single time that you purchase on the store. You can use it as many times as you want. I don't really care. It'd be freaking awesome if you bought one of these t-shirts for you and your buddy and all that stuff. But basically, the store, this shirt is ready. It's live, like I said earlier in the week. But moving on in the video, I'm not going to talk too much about whether I think it's right or wrong for them to actually temporarily do this ACFT ban requirement for you to not actually have to pass the ACFT during initial training. The only thing I'm going to mention is that the reason that I'm thinking that they're doing this, and one of the problems with the ACFT, is that if you compare the ACFT to the APFT, the old PT test, you could prepare for that with zero equipment. You don't need any equipment whatsoever. Just at the drop of a hat, we could just take a PT test right now and it would be super simple. All you really need is a watch or a timer, something to keep track of the time. The ACFT, on the other hand, is you need a crap ton of equipment. There's a whole ordered structure, things of doing this. It's complicated, and also to prepare for the ACFT, you kind of have to go to the gym, okay? So right now, that's a problem. If you have to go to the gym to prepare for something, and right now gyms in a whole lot of places are still shut down and you actually can't go to them, and in some places you can go, but it's in more of a limited, it's a little bit more limited essentially, then that's kind of a problem. So in my opinion, that's kind of why they're doing this. It's not so much that they're getting soft, it's just that they made, in my opinion, a bad decision going with the whole ACFT route. It's a great idea, but I think they made it a little bit too complicated logistically for what the Army can do realistically, easily. So if this is the first time you're hearing about this, and maybe you've been pushing yourself super hard, and maybe you've been going out for runs and all that, and just trying to get in better shape in general, and you're like, thank the Lord, I don't really have to stress about this too much. I don't really have to do this much anymore. I don't have to run like I used to. I'm shipping out in a couple of weeks. I can kind of relax right now because, it's not a requirement. I don't actually have to pass this anymore. Now, I don't know if they've changed the rules as far as sending you to fat camp. So if you show up to basic training and you're in super duper bad shape, really bad shape, I don't know how you made it to basic training past your recruiter bad shape, right? So if you're in pretty bad shape, really bad shape, and you go to basic training, they essentially stop your training, send you over to the fat camp, and you essentially kind of work on your PT and get in better shape for a couple of weeks, and then you come back with a different company and continue on with your basic training. So I'm not sure if that's changed as far as that requirement, because that wasn't a set standard, hey, if you do this bad, then you're gonna be sent to fat camp. It was more kind of eyeballing in a sense. I'm not sure who made the decision, probably just the company commander. But ultimately, a lot of people are scared about passing the PT test to move on to AIT. And right now, that's not an issue. So should you have to worry about it? No, you don't need to worry about it, but should you actually still prepare for it? Yes, you should definitely still be pushing yourself, trying to get in as best physical shape as you possibly can to go to basic training, just because in general, the better physical shape you're gonna be in at basic training, the better time you're gonna have at basic training, the less you have to worry about the physical side of aspect of basic training, whether you're talking about ruck marching or being smoked all the time, where the drill sergeants are making you do physical exercises for punishment essentially, or corrective training. And the better shape you're in, the less you have to worry about that. Also, if you go to basic training and you're not in good shape and you're just failing the PT test with flying colors, right? You're just doing not good at it. Well, when you get to AIT, you're also going to be failing the PT test with flying colors. And odds are, if you're not taking the time right now to actually push yourself, to improve yourself, to pass the ACFT, when you have all this free time, then when you get to AIT and you're gonna have this much free time, so you're gonna go to school, or not go to school, go to classes and all that stuff, do your training, and at the end of the day, you have 2 or 3 hours of free time. I'm just gonna say odds are you probably aren't gonna be going to the gym to get that extra PT in. And then what's gonna happen is you graduate AIT, it's not a requirement to pass the ACFT anymore, and then you go to your first unit and you just totally fail your first PT test. You just do terrible your first PT test because maybe you've been this whole time slacking. You haven't really cared too much about passing the ACFT because, hey, it's not a requirement. But when you get to that first unit and they see you totally drop the ball on this ACFT PT test, and it is one of those things that I've talked about in my video about impressing your first duty station, your first unit. It's a big thing. It may be stupid that the PT is such a big part of their view on you, but it's like essentially your first impression is, hey, how seriously am I taking my job? The military is a physical job where you have to be physically fit. That's why we have PT tests. So if you show up to your first job essentially and you can't do the job, it doesn't look good for you. And if you're trying to get maybe promoted a little bit faster, if you're trying to go to boards, if you're trying to do some fun things, if you're trying to go to maybe airborne school because you didn't get it in your contract, or whatever, you're trying to do something that you want to do, that you have to have somebody sign off for you to actually approve you to do that thing, and you're failing your PT test, and you have that bad first impression because you didn't have a good PT score. You can be really smart, really good at your job, but that first impression where you take a PT test, maybe potentially when you first get there, that could kind of set the tone. Now you could turn that around, but it's just not a good idea to have a bad first impression. And it's also kind of setting the tone for your military career when the Army is saying, hey, we're gonna kind of lower the standard right now. Actually, we're gonna remove the standard. And then for you to then just say, hey, I'm not gonna worry about this anymore. I'm not gonna push myself anymore. That kind of shows a little bit on you that you're kind of being a little bit lazy in a sense. Like, again, the military is physical. You need to be physically fit, and if you're not, it doesn't look good. You're basically not going to be able to get promoted if you can't pass the PT test. So I just want to let you guys know that right now. If you're failing your PT test, you're just not going to get promoted. And then just overall doing your average everyday stuff at basic training, at AIT, when you get to your unit. If you're not in good physical fitness, or if you don't have good physical fitness, then you're gonna just have a rougher life in the military. So that is gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget about the 200,000 subscriber celebration collection in the store. It is live right now. Link in the description. Use code WAR10 for 10% off. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to stick around for some more of my videos. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat if you haven't already. Hope you guys have an amazing freaking day. I'll see y'all later.